Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Jake Reads Your Comments number...
Seal's face scar.
This is the show where Jake comments upon your comments. I actually do the reading, so it's not an aptly named series.
I read them, and then I gave them to you to read.
Sure, the Jake Reads part is off camera.
I was the prime reader.
Okay. Any final words before we begin, Jake, since this is your show? Any words of wisdom?
How did that scar happen? Did he just come out like that, or?
He got attacked by a seal. That's where the name comes from.
You're joshing me.
Enclave Commander number 3-117 on one of our previous Bible studies says Jake looks like the type of colloquial friendly N-word to pursue 4chan regularly, then furiously masturbate with his Cheeto-stained hands.
I have never been on 4chan.
You've never been on
time.
4chan? That surprises
Not
me.
once. Why does it surprise you? You had to explain what Dat Boy was to me at one point in our relationship.
Oh, that wasn't even a 4chan thing. That was a Reddit meme,
Wasn't
I
it?
think.
See, I didn't know. I don't know. I don't do 4chan. Also, I don't really like Cheetos that much, like the regular ones. I do like the simply white cheddar Cheetos though, which don't leave a dust on you.
I like Cheetos Puffs.
Also, I subconsciously, whenever it's something dirty or dusty or chocolatey or anything that leaves residue on your fingers, I use my left hand to eat it, and I'm right-handed when it comes to the dick smithing. So it just wouldn't happen even if I had regular Cheetos. I would most likely avoid touching my dick with my Cheeto hand.
I learned a lot today.
Which hand do you use? Since we're sharing?
Right, I'm a righty.
Same.
I'm a righty in all avenues, including self-sensually.
Yeah, I'm actually a righty in the giving sector too. So when I don't rowboat, I just if you want me to rub your dick, you got to be on my right side.
And now we all learned something today. From the same Bible study, 0403, Donnie says, what Sean meant was that chemical weapons were not used in combat. This is in reference to, if you didn't see, for us it was like 2 days ago from the time we're recording this, Sean Spicer, the White House, why am I blanking on his fucking official title?
The press secretary.
Press secretary, duh. I don't know why I was blanking on that. He said, in reference to Syria, he was saying even Hitler didn't gas his own people, something like that. There was a more direct quote you could find, but yeah, we made a joke about that or something at the beginning of the episode, and yeah. Take it away, Jake. I'm sure you're going to diatribe about this for a while.
You say it like it's a bad thing. Yeah, no, I actually had to, first of all, it was a joke. But second of all, like he said that, and like it doesn't matter what he meant, he said it. But a lot of people went after two things. Not a lot of people. The people that wanted to defend Sean Spicer for some reason. Someone actually even called me fake news, which is fun. Of course, they said he meant battlefield chemical weapons, which even if he meant that is untrue. We'll get to that in a second. Baby birds, I will feed you. And other people were like, Hitler, he was in World War I and he got mustard gassed for a second, and so he didn't like it and he saw the effects of it, so he was like morally opposed. We'll talk about that too, because the idea of Hitler being morally opposed to a thing that hurts people is hilarious. And I guess some of the other stuff was just like people mentioning the like Holocaust centers, which is a hilarious like a slip of the tongue. Although Spicer has a billion slips all the time. I guess we'll just start right off with the chemical weapon usage, and I'm gonna on the screen I will show you the actual article. This took 2 seconds of Googling, by the way. 2 seconds. You type in World War II chemical weapon usage, and then you can scroll down and you can see when the Nazis used them. I don't know why it's hard for you, but I'm gonna do it for you. Papa Jake's here. Papa Jake's here to lend his assistance in your gain of new knowledge. So they used chemical weapons, according to this part of the article, on several occasions, but three notably. I don't know how to say this correctly, but I'm gonna go Sevastopol, which was in the Black Sea, and then there was one at Kerch, the Battle of Kerch, in which they used, I think it was phosgene gas, which very unpleasant. You would die from that immediately. And Odessa, I believe. So there's 3 different times that the German army, and this isn't like 1945, last-ditch effort, Hitler's killed himself. We're talking 41 and 42, okay? Middle of the war, also, it was happening. Now, there is some and true information about Hitler being wary of using chemical weapons, not because he was morally opposed, although he may have said that. I will get to the Hitler lying thing. But because he was worried about Allied, specifically American, retaliation with chemical weapons. Because, yeah, we would probably retaliate with chemical weapons in World War II. I think we would do that. Although it is against the Geneva Conventions. Or at that time it was the...
Warsaw Pact?
There's a different... The what?
Warsaw Pact?
Maybe that was it. I can't remember. There's a lot of information floating around in my head. Anyways, the people that say he was morally opposed to that, there was actually a U.S. Commissioned report to document Hitler's lies because he lied so much. Like, this is a guy that would say one thing and do the other because he was smart and good at his job, which was lying to people to get them to do shit. So the idea that this is the one pillar on which you can trust Hitler and what he's saying is ludicrous. And that might be a little bit of a genetic fallacy, but that doesn't mean that it's automatically wrong that he says something and we assume he just does the other thing. There's also evidence for it because he had, throughout the entire course of the war, had built chemical weapons on purpose and with intent to use them. In fact, and this is the part where people really jumped on Spicer for, he did use chemical weapons, especially in concentration camps. And obviously, I don't think Hitler's there, like, in the showers on the other side of like a fake glass mirror, and he can, like a two-way mirror, or one-way, I guess. And then he turns the gas knob himself. Of course not, but he told him to do it. Like, do you think that the Nazis were just off like, oh, we will keep this from the Führer. They'll never know that we gas the Jews.
Well, what bugs me is you also have people on the... And I know you're going to continue on it. I'm sorry.
I'm going to continue on. Oh, yeah.
There's people on both sides taking this the wrong way. There are people, of course, that you're talking about, which annoyed the fuck out of me.
Are you gonna say
also,
Holocaust deniers?
Yeah, the people who are saying all of a sudden Sean Spice is a Holocaust denier. No,
That's
no,
fucking
guys.
retarded.
I don't
if that's
like...
what you took away from that, you're stupid.
No, the point is that he made a poorly constructed comparison that didn't take into account things that actually happened and accidentally maybe inferred that German Jews weren't actual Jewish citizens. Accidentally.
Well,
I don't think that was his intention. I think it was complete miscalculation on his part, not intentional. I think he's just...
He was
not
trying to make a
familiar.
point about Assad being an asshole.
Oh, I totally get it. It was just a poorly
and
done...
it is true. Assad, although some people think it's a false flag thing, at best your false flag thing is Assad was working with the Russians who were manipulating the U.S. But I can't imagine that just, like, it's a false flag entirely and everyone's been duped. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Do you want to add anything else to that?
Not particularly. I just think it was just a stupid gaffe, and everyone's trying to... This is what annoys me. Everyone's trying to politicize it to, like, a degree where it becomes meaningless, and everything becomes meaningless. There are tons of things you can criticize about Spicer and the Trump administration, but when you take every little thing and make it...
When you take
breaking news!
He said inaccurate shit.
Yeah.
Which was the joke, because he always says inaccurate shit. And you change it to, he's a Holocaust denier, or... he said nothing incorrect at all. You're two sides of the same coin, you idiot. Anyways, as far as the chemical weapons attack on his own people, it did occur. Just because it's in a building doesn't mean it's not an attack. Some people were like, well, is an electric chair a weapon? Well, it's not a handheld weapon, but it sure is something that kills people on purpose. So, I mean, in the definition of weapon is something meant to harm or kill a thing. Like, that's just, it's what it is. I'm sorry, it's not a gun. Like, if it's a firing squad, are they still using weapons? The answer is yes. But also, it's the most deadly chemical weapon attack ever in history. It's the most prolific by far. And that's like historical fact. They count it as a chemical weapon attack, or a series of attacks on citizenry, which is his own people. Anyways, as far as the stockpile, at one point he had 45,000 different weapons of the chemical variety being used, including, of course, Zyklon B. There was some carbon monoxide type stuff, phosgene, just think anything you can really think of. That's what it is. Sarin probably, and mustard gas, all the things. Yeah. And he wanted to use them. He actually pulled them off the Russian front. They got shipped to the Russian front with intent to be used. Pulled them back because he was worried that the Russians would use them on Germans in retaliation. It's not because he was worried about the fucking moral qualms of gassing the shit out of people, obviously. And he'll do that a couple times. He also did that in the Western Front. And then he would, later on during a Russian advance, he doubles down and orders double the fucking amount of chemical weapons be made. So, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong as fuck.
Can I point out two things?
Yes.
A, what I said, I mentioned the Warsaw Pact earlier because I'm dumb and don't know anything about history. That was 1955, so I'm totally wrong.
What was it? Yeah, I don't remember. Geneva Protocol, 1925 Geneva. That's why I got it mixed up with Geneva Conventions.
Secondly, I just realized the picture the person used as a profile picture is the Iron Cross, so that might explain their comment as well.
Oh no, it wasn't just them. They were just the shortest. Like most of it was like a diatribe about like how I'm wrong.
Okay.
No, you're fucking wrong. You're the wrongest. Like it's his historical fact. And that's why I got so worked up.
Okay.
Because it's just wrong. And so I decided to answer here instead of over and over again on Twitter. Because it's just incorrect.
Good.
Three different occasions. We'll recap 3 different occasions of actual use on the battlefield.
Well, they're gonna say that's not use against your own citizens, which is what he said.
Right.
Concentration.
Right, but those are the people. No, he said the people. I'm saying that their counter argument is, well, he didn't use it on the battlefield. Okay, but he used, like, if you're fighting your own people, that's a civil war. So they wouldn't have a civil war. So of course it didn't happen. But he did use chemical weapons on his own people, the most prolific of all time.
Oh,
which is
sure.
why things like chemical weapons, like Assad used, are banned because of Hitler.
Well,
and because of World War I.
I was gonna say I think that's more on World War I.
Well, no, that was combatants.
I'm
just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Anyways, so you're all fucking wrong if you're on either side of the extremes of that thing. And I can't believe Sean Spicer made me talk about this because he was just fucking wrong. And I have no idea. It took 2 seconds to Google.
That should have been the end of that conversation. It should have literally been, wow, Sean Spicer just said something wildly inaccurate. Right? All right.
I feel like I'm going to be doing this for a long time. But it was a history-related thing, so my dick got a little hard for it, so...
This next one comes from one of our latest chick-tracked videos, The Wall. Mindfully Green says, "Hey Hugo and Jake, what do you think about psychedelic substances in relation to helping people overcome the faith virus? Oh god, including weed. They are directly the reasons why I care about reason and truth." Oh, that's sad.
Okay, so the root of this question I have no issue with because I think it's an interesting topic, but I would like to point out that your fucking fedora has been tipped way too far and your brains are spilling the fuck out because you are goddamn cringy. The faith virus? Ugh. I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. Everyone else here is on team Jake and Hugo right now, and they know that like you need to calm the fuck down. Maybe take more psychedelics and smoke some more weed and be like, you know what, man, it's cool. It's cool, bro. Also, side note, on 420, Hugo and I will be doing an actually chemically altered Ask Hugo. It'll be called Ask Hugo, like whoa.
Will it? Is that the title?
I don't know. Like whoa, dude, or something. I don't know. Anyways, as far as the root of it, like psychedelic substances, not even helping people to overcome the faith virus, but maybe just to get like some people feel like there's like you can use the word spiritual, but like deeper consciousness sort of experience. Part of that's woo-woo bullshit that you're trying to put meaning on. Some people do it. Totally fine. Joe Rogan, for instance, used to be really woo-woo bullshit stuff. Now he's less so. But I think as far as like introspection and stuff, I think that can be useful if you intend to use it for introspective purposes. Some people just like I had a friend that just like tripped balls on psychedelics and thought a giant rock in a golf course was a turtle that was talking shit to him, and he punched it and broke his hand. That's not very helpful to anyone involved, except for me telling the story to you, in which you maybe got a light chuckle. But
Poor turtle.
Poor turtle. Fuck you. Anyways, but I do think that, first of all, I have no moral issue with any drug really being used by a person as long as it's, a responsible thing and doesn't hurt other people. Like, you're not, like, shooting heroin up in front of your kids, probably detrimental. But shooting heroin up inside of, like, a hotel room with your boyfriend Hugo when you sneak away from your girlfriends because you've been separated for so long.
We live across the country. I haven't seen you in a year and a half. This fake sexual scenario isn't even happening. The worst part is
we have a Brokeback Mountain meetup thing.
We
go fishing together. And we do heroin, apparently.
We do heroin. Okay.
But anyways, I think it can be useful to maybe be introspective, especially if you do it with someone else. But a lot of that stuff is just like the way your fucking brain works, and it fucks with your visual cortex, and it, like DMTA is, or DMT, not DMTA. DMT. I was thinking DMCA. DMT does that too. And so you're just seeing some shit, and it probably means nothing. But, live your life. Anything to add, Hugo / Jake Gyllenhaal? You're the one that gets beat to death.
No,
but you get to fuck the Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
Or the Princess Diaries. Anne Hathaway. Not the Princess Bride.
Princess Diary.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know, everyone. I don't know.
Wow,
Get back to me in the 420 episode with questions like this.
Yeah, and make sure to ask like whoa questions too, like really cosmic.
But go leave them on the last Ask Hugo, because I'm not gonna look at them here because I'm a lazy sack of shit.
That's a good way to get clicks.
Yeah,
we got them, roped them in.
C Moral or C Morel, maybe they're into mushrooms. I don't know. I want a Herald condom for sure, but lately I've been disturbed by the way porn destroys the lives and minds of women who star in them, and I'm not a pussy. I'll fucking murk whoever talks shit. I'm just it really does destroy fucking lives. I'm surprised how much you endorse it. I'm not. What does murk mean? What is murk in that context?
To murder.
Oh.
He spelt it wrong, I believe.
Oh.
I believe it's MERC, and it's like a mercenary sort of thing. It has like connotations. I could be totes wrong, but this guy is no pussy. He has a little koala bear.
You know how you can tell people aren't pussies when they are so adamant about telling you how much of a pussy they're not?
I guarantee you at some point in this guy's life he used the word alpha to describe himself without sarcasm, and that's okay. We'll take all sorts here at TBR. But
are we going to talk about porn stars and their lives and how sometimes they are
okay, yes, porn hurts some people, but it's more like because of their choices and not. I feel like this guy watched Hot Girls Wanted on Netflix and thought all porn stars have it bad. Like, were those people even porn stars? Because I didn't think I watched that whole thing. I
didn't catch that one. I do know that there are some people who get into it via the actual industry, and it's bad. But honestly, I think the porn industry and the adult industry in general has been getting better for the past couple of years because of the internet. You have people who are able to, they don't have to get into the industry and maybe be involved in stuff they don't want to, but they can just do cam shows in the comfort of their own home, and they get to decide. You know what I mean?
And not only that, like you get money for being like an amateur porn star now. Like if you film it yourself and do stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like there was a thing that came across my Twitter feed the other day because I follow Aria, who is the Pornhub person. She's hilarious and she has dank memes. But anyways, they threw a like an infographic up, and they're like, oh, this is like if you get the #1 rated views, they're like $10,000 cash. They just fucking give it to you. And they also do like what's the word? Scholarships and shit for people. And they don't even have to do porn. You can just apply. there was a really bad time, like 90s to early 2000s, where like it's probably just like, besides, what was that one porn star, Jenna Jameson, right?
Was
she also a VJ? I don't know. That was too young for me. I wasn't jacking off when I was fucking 6 years old. But there are harmful elements to any industry. Of course, porn would be a little different. It's obviously exploitative. But like, it's not a thing you have to do. No one forces you to do that. You sign, like, they're adults that sign up for shit, like, and they get paid. And some people don't handle the money correctly, or some people get into this sort of like racket where they have to pay for their own way and shit, and they basically don't even break into the green. It's always kind of just treading water to fuck
or drugs.
Suck
I've
another
heard
dick,
stories
or drugs. A lot of people
getting them
do
hooked on drugs.
But a lot of people, like, I feel like it's fine. Like, sexually liberated is fine. Like, do what you want. If you want to be filmed fucking like 20,000 dicks through your life, go for it. Or if you just, like, I don't even care. Like, it doesn't matter. If you do it, it's your choice. The idea that these women don't have any agency in the thing is really, it sells them short of their own cognitive abilities.
I'm sure there are still shady and coercive elements in the industry, but we were specifically pimping Pornhub, which out of all the elements in the porn industry, I think Pornhub seems like one of the most positive, like... Yeah. Well, putting freedom into the hands of the performers and making sure that they feel safe, and
I don't know.
At least that's the impression I got from Pornhub. And Pornhub does their own productions too. They're not just how do I put this? They're not just like a YouTube where although they are that in a lot of ways for a lot of other companies. They also do their own.
Pornhub's now doing their own things, but like YouTube used to be. It's not just a depository.
And comparing, like, and we're adults here, I think we can all admit we look at porn from time to time. Comparing, like, something I've seen the Pornhub logo come up on versus some other thing that seems, like, sketchier, if that makes sense. Pornhub productions,
4chan, probably.
Sure, always seemed like everyone wants to be there and they're doing their job and they're kind of, like, I mean, it is kind of a silly thing you're doing. But
I think you can, like... There's a clear delineation between this is what Pornhub endorses and this person got fucking coerced.
Here's how I'll describe it. In the Pornhub productions, when the lady's getting railed by the BBC,
BBC
in the industry, that stands for Big Black Cock. By the way,
yeah, it took me a second. I got you. We're on board.
It doesn't look like she's eyeballing off. She's got like a bump of heroin or something waiting for her right when they say cut. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like she genuinely loves that BBC and wants more.
Also, I don't know. Some people just like to fuck. I mean, most people like to fuck, but some people like to fuck that much.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much for me, probably. I don't think I could enjoy that job, but like, I feel like I would be desensitized immediately from all that shit.
Yeah.
And it'd be over for me. Like, some people are like, oh, porn star, that'd be amazing. I mean, probably for like a week. It'd be great, but it's not for everybody. Also, my dick is not that humongous. Holy shit. Where do they find these people? Do they just, like, look at them and go, well, you work out and your dick is humongous. I guess you're in.
Sometimes it's not even a you work out. Sometimes it is entirely in the dick. Like, you can tell that this person...
That's fair.
All that's going to hurt is the dick. Anyway.
I don't even have that, though, so it's fine. But yeah, I think if we're like a pro-sex sort of culture, and I think we are or want to be, that thing, like, why are you fucking stigmatizing that sort of shit? This is the same reason people think drug use is bad, is because people like you are like, heroin destroys lives. Well, yeah, but if we regulated it, people would be just fine. Oh, we can't do that.
Detective Dude Do Detective, which, by the way, is a fucking sweet name.
That is a really rad name.
Yeah. I found this channel by Googling The Bible Reloaded as a joke because I thought it sounded funny, and now it's the channel I spend most time watching. That's funny. That's how I end up making the channel, too. I randomly Googled that, and then the channel existed, and I said, no, I'm trapped.
Well, I mean, you made a joke, but honestly, we thought, Bible Reloaded. Matrix Reloaded sucked. That'll be funny. And then... it was the channel we spend most of our time on.
It was mildly funny for a week, and then
it just kind of, I don't know. I prefer TBR to Bible Reloaded,
and now it's on like official shit that my name's on
Oh yeah, I forgot that we are like
And
this
stickers
is an LLC and
and-
stuff. Oh no. Oh, we're fucking trapped, dude. But basically, I just picked this because Detective Dude Detective sounds like the best fucking sitcom ever.
I'd watch that, sure.
Can it
Watch-
be a buddy cop thing?
I don't know. Go watch Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. That sounds like the alternate title to that. Go watch that show. And then Leandro Thomas Quadra says, please make a video of Kiss from a Rose sang by you guys.
I can't think of a thing you guys would want less. There used to be a great power alone on the seas. Then you gotta hit it. You gotta hit it up. You became the light on the dark side of me. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become white and the light that you shine can be seen? Baby, that's the best you can get. That's
Sure.
what we got for you.
Yeah, fine. And then I think this is the final one. This is from our Jesus Camp review. Let's Get Real. Oh, good name. Says, haha, Sweden is the happiest place on earth. Fast forward to 2017 when the truth comes out. That irony aside, people are insane. Is this gonna be a person claiming every brown person in the country's raping every white woman?
No. We already discussed that in another video. I think that was that on TQR?
Yeah,
where we discussed
it
the
was.
difference in reported on our consent video on TQR. If you want to watch that, it'll be at the end. Just fucking click on it later. But I looked and I was like, okay, well, how do we decide what the best countries are? Because we said that it was one of the happiest countries in the world. It is. So I found this site. It's U.S. News does this aggregate sort of metric where they take all the countries and they have a bunch of different stuff that goes into them. Sweden's overall rank of countries, number 6 in the world.
Okay.
Their overall rank for quality of living is number 2. Canada's number 1.
That doesn't
So good
shock
for
me.
good for Canada. Yeah. Their GDP per capita is $48,000. They have the most generous people, or some of the most generous people. About 1% of all income is donated. As far as they have different categories, so they rank number 28th in the world in adventure. So I assume maybe
What does that even mean?
Some mountainous. I can tell you. Adventure. The ranking details. Fun, how scenic it is, how pleasant the climate is, how friendly the people are, and sexy. So I assume the overall sex appeal of the people there. I don't know. But so Brazil has a really high sexy rating. I looked. So I assume that's what it is because Brazilians are good looking. Citizenship, number 2 in the world. Things that include citizenship are like respect property rights, progressive, trustworthy, gender equality. They max out the grades on most of these. Cares about the environment, human rights, religious freedom. All those are maxed out. Their worst ranking is a 7.1 out of 10 for well-distributed political power. So I guess it's not perfect distribution, but it's just enough. Cultural influence is number 9 overall. Entrepreneurship, number 6. Heritage, number 34. Movers, number 46. What's movers? Distinctive, different, unique, dynamic. I don't know what any of that means. So who knows? Open for business. They're very pro-business, even though people are like, oh, that's a socialist state. Apparently, their business dealings are very good. Number 19 in power, and number 2 in quality of life, which is most important to me. And so they are a 9.8 in the economically stable sector. They have a good job market. They are one of the least affordable countries, however, and that's the lowest grade by far. It's 0.1, and it's the only low grade I could find.
That tends to be like that in countries where you have lots of social
It does.
programs and stuff.
U.S. also is one of the least affordable. It's a 9.3 in safe. It's 9.5 politically stable. 9 family friendly. 9.5 public education and in a well-developed one. Well-developed public health at 9.6, and income equality is 9.9, and that doesn't just mean genders. So calm down, all my Sargon fans. It actually just means distribution from top to bottom. They have a pretty good equality ratio where there's not a deep poor base, but there's also not a deep rich base. It's kind of like there are rich and poor people, but everyone usually has what they need.
It clumps more in the middle, basically.
Yeah. So Sweden is basically like one of the best countries on the planet.
Yeah, I'd like a system like that. That's just me, though.
And this is from an aggregate. You can look it up yourself. You can look up anything you want in the world. Just look up best countries, usnews.com/news/best-countries. And you can look up any country that you would like.
I don't know why you did this question. Now we're going to get fucking paragraphs in the comments.
Because I wanted them to be wrong. Because I like it when people are wrong. Because I thought, what if I'm wrong? And in looking for my wrongness, I found out that they were in fact wrong. Because they had one terrorist attack this year. They had one last year. By the way, 4 people died in the terrorist attack with the truck the other day. That's a pretty good fucking run. Boston bombing lost more people.
Yeah.
That was domestic terrorism, but still, it's terrorism nonetheless. 9/11 got you beat by a bit. I'll take all the things from Sweden with the occasional rogue truck and be just fine. And that's not to be insensitive about what happened. It was a horrible thing. But seriously, if my worst fear is, sometimes maybe a truck will run down the road, I'll just walk inside a building, and we'll try our luck. With my fucking 9.6 healthcare and my 9.9 wealth distribution and my fucking stable government. And one of the things that isn't in the metric, but that they mention in the article that's attached, because they have a synopsis of the whole thing, like extra stuff they couldn't really fit in the metrics. Sweden, of course, doesn't have any involvement in wars, even though they're pretty militaristic as far as their populace. A lot of them are trained in the military. Sweden's the one with the mandatory, right? Or is that Switzerland?
I know Finland is mandatory.
Despite militaristic roots, Sweden has remained neutral in times of war for centuries. They have a commitment to human rights, public service, and sustainability. And they're a respected leader in international affairs. I'm just saying, if you're going to shit on any country, Sweden's not the one you get to do it on. Just because there was a truck one day.
But Jake, they help brown people.
That they do.
Guess that's it for this episode of Jake reads your comments. Are you intrigued? Are you good?
Ask more comments. Just put comments around and I'll find them. None of these were from my last Jake reads, so yeah, who knows?
You can always follow us on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo Reloaded. You can also subscribe to the channel and get stuff.
You can donate to our Patreon campaign, which is more important than ever in these trying times of the YouTube apocalypse. So if you want to help support the show, or any other channels that
please
you like,
support
donate their Patreon.
as many channels as you regularly watch, even if it's just $1.
Or get YouTube Red if you can't afford to Patreon a bunch of people. Just get YouTube
That's
Red,
true.
which
we
comes
do
with
get more for your click.
Which comes with a YouTube Music subscription as well, if you're into that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go get ready for next week's Ask Hugo 420 episode. I have extensive research to get done. So
I'm actually going to hang out with a friend of mine tonight, and I'm going to give him nationally recognized currency in exchange for herbs for cooking.
So anyway, until next time, I'm Hugo.
That's not how you talk when you're smoking.
No, but that's my worried. I'm wondering how far over the line you can go before we'll see if we get arrested. Until next time, Hugo.
We'll just do it off screen. Can't prove it.
Obviously. It's clearly a gag. Like that time I fake drank a bottle of vodka.
Oh, I thought you said gag. I thought we were going back to Pornhub.